Hello friends, in this presentation we will learn now what is wheel balancing and wheel alignment. This is a point number 3.6 of unit number 4 and which is also the last part of unit number 4. In this picture you will see this picture of wheel alignment on the left hand side and the picture of balancing of the wheel on the right hand side. Many car users have to balance their wheels as well as they have to test their wheels for its alignment after completion of 5000 kilometer slot every time. So what are the learning outcome of this today's presentation? Let us see what are the points that we will learn today. We will learn here what is the purpose of wheel alignment, what is the procedure of wheel alignment, what is the purpose of wheel balancing, what is static and dynamic balancing, and what is the procedure for static and dynamic balancing. Let us start with first wheel alignment. A wheel alignment is the adjustment of the suspension and steering to ensure proper vehicle handling with minimum tire wear. So to have a minimum tire wear, we must check the tires for its alignment. When a vehicle is new, the alignment angles are set by the factory. After many miles or months of driving, the alignment angles can change slightly. By adjusting the suspension and steering components, proper alignment angles can be restored, and alignment includes checking and adjusting if necessary both front and rear wheels. So these alignment angles can be restored with the procedure of wheel alignment. So what is a procedure for alignment? The first step of alignment is to test drive the vehicle and assess suspension tuning. The mechanic will then lift the car and inspect it from the beneath. If any tire or suspension repairs or replacements are necessary, they will be made before the alignment procedure begins. Additionally, the mechanic will check and adjust tire pressure before connecting the vehicle to the alignment machine. So alignment machines are used for this purpose. Once the vehicle is connected, the mechanic will make measurements of 4 primary angles: toe, camber, caster and thrust, and adjust them to align the suspension. So what is camber, caster and toe? That we have already studied in previous presentation, and today we will find the relation of these angles related to the alignment procedure. So how do you get to know that your car alignment is off? If your car steering feels unusually heavy on one of the sides and it seems hard to keep the car straight line even while cruising at low speed, basically your car unintentionally keeps running towards one side of the road, then you can say that your car is needing alignment. If the steering wheel begins to transmit heavy vibrations and if you observe indented tread wear on the tires, then these are some of the things that indicate your car alignment is off and you need the alignment. Let us see the procedure of wheel alignment. The order of adjustment of these angles are: first caster, after that camber and then toe. Refer to the manufacturer's service manual for the details first, and after that mount the alignment equipment following the equipment manufacturer instructions. Check the steering and axis inclination and camber, caster, turning radius and toe. Document bore readiness and adjustment values. Most modern vehicle wheel alignment equipment is computer controlled, greatly simplifies the wheel alignment process. Approximately 80% of today's vehicles require front and rear wheel alignment. Collision repair usually requires at least a four wheel alignment check. After that you have to road test if the alignment is proper or not. After making wheel alignment adjustment, road test the vehicle. Make sure the vehicle does not pull to one side of the road, vibrate or exhibit other troubles. So what are the dangers of wheels that are not aligned? The symptoms and dangers of a car that is out of alignment are: wheels that are not aligned will compromise your safety and the ability to steer the vehicle. Out of alignment of car will result in the vehicle continuously drifting or pulling to one side of the road when you let go of the wheel. If the wheels aren't going in a straight line, it means that the tires will be dragging sideways to some extent, pulling or drifting away from the straight line. This is not only annoying, but the tire that is out of alignment will also wear prematurely and unevenly because of the constant drag placed on its tread. As the tread wears away, the ability for the tire to grip wears away with equal rapidity. The drag can also impact on fuel consumption, braking, handling, the ability to react the steer's input or any form of action becomes compromised. So these are some of the points. So let us see aligned related problems. Most alignment diagnosis is symptom based diagnosis. The problem with the alignment is determined from the symptoms such as excessive tire wear or pull to one side of the road. This is the first: pull. Pull defined as definite tug on the steering wheel or pull toward the left or the right wheel driving straight on a level road. In this picture you will see this pull. A pull is usually defined as a tug on the steering wheel toward one side of or the other. Road crown effect. Most roads are constructed with a slight angle to permit water to drain from the road surface. On a two-lane road, the center of the road is often higher than the berms, resulting in road crown. So the crown of the road refers to the angle or slope of the roadway needed to drain off the pavement. So in this picture you will see the crown of the road, and alignment should be proper with regard to this point. Wander, a condition where constant steering wheel corrections are necessary to maintain straight ahead direction on a straight level level road is called as a wander. So wander is an unstable condition requiring constant driver corrections. Let us see interpreting tire patterns related to misalignment of the wheels and chassis part issues. This figure is very important. You will see here the picture feathering type of wear. It means it is because of the toe problem. You will see again one side wear, after that edge wear, after that cup wear. These are some of the problems related to the tire wear because of misalignment or not aligning your wheel, not doing the wheel alignment. So what is wheel alignment? The alignment is concerned with the wheels being perpendicular to the surface of the road and that the wheels are parallel to each other. This means that the car will drive evenly. It allows the vehicle to go down the road as a straight as an arrow with no one side being overly stressed. The proper alignment can also allow for quicker stops and shorter distance to cause that stop. Importance of good wheel alignment. Wheel alignment increases efficiency of the vehicle. This figure indicates various angles of alignment, caster, camber and toes, and because of this good wheel alignment will get the wheels are perpendicular to the road and the wheels are parallel to each other. So what are these angles? Caster indicates concerned with the steering axis, camber is go on the tilt of the tire, and toes indicates front tires are closer or not. Wheel alignment consists of adjusting the angles of the wheels so that they are set to the car maker's specification. The purpose of this adjustment is to stop the vehicle pulling to one side, which causes wear on the tires and the steering and suspension parts, thus ensuring an excellent road holding. All new vehicles leave the factory with their alignment checked and adjusted. These are some of the benefits of wheel alignment: reduce wear on tires, better gas mileage due to less work on the engine, smoother driving, lack of vibration at high speeds, straighter driving with no pulling to one side or other, improved safety, shorter stopping distance, safe driving, save money and environment, improved fuel consumption, brake and steering condition, maximum tire life, and vehicle that tracks straight and true when driving along a straight and level road. So what are the wheel alignment angles? Camber, caster, toe, steering axis inclination, turning radius, thrust line, and scrub radius. Camber is the inward or outward tilt of the wheel from true vertical or viewed from the front or rear of the vehicle. So in this figure you will see this camber. Already we have seen this concept in previous presentation. So this is a camber. Camber is the tilt of the wheel in or out from the center line when viewed from the front of the vehicle. Check with the vehicle manufacturer's specification for camber setting. Camber affects whether the whole tire tread or just the edges of the tire wears. Camber is the angle represented by the tilt of the wheels inward or outward from the center line. Positive camber has the top of the wheel tilted out when viewed from the front. Negative camber has the top of the wheel tilted inward when viewed from the front. Camber is controlled by control arms and their pivots. Camber is affected by worn or loose ball joints, control arm bushings, and wheel bearings. So this is the included angle which causes scuffing and wear on the outside edge of the tire. So this is the effect of included angle. Excluded negative camber causes scuffing and wear on the inside edge of the tire. In this figure you will see this effect on the tire. Incorrect camber can cause excessive wear on wheel bearing. Many vehicles manufacturers specify positive camber so the vehicle's weight is applied to the larger inner wheel bearing and spindle. Caster is the forward or rearward tilt of the steering axis in reference to vertical line as viewed from the side of the vehicle. So here you will see the picture of zero caster. So this is a figure of positive caster. So positive caster. Negative caster is seldom specified on today's vehicle because it tends to make the vehicle unstable at highway speed. Negative caster was specified on some older vehicles not equipped with power steering to help reduce the steering effort. So this figure indicates this thing: caster, positive and negative. So caster is the angle of steering axis of the wheel from true vertical and has little effect on the tire wear. Positive caster tilts the top of the steering knuckles towards the rear of the vehicle. Negative caster tilts the top of the steering knuckle towards the front of the vehicle. Unequal caster will cause the vehicle to steer towards the side and less caster. Most common problem affecting caster is worn stud rod and control arm bushings. Toe is the difference in distance between the front and rear of the tires. As viewed from the top of this vehicle, zero toe means both the wheels on the same axle are parallel as shown in this figure. So clearly zero toe, note how both the tires are parallel to each other as viewed from above the vehicle. Toe is also described as a comparison of horizontal lines drawn through both the wheels on the same axle as shown here. So this is a total toe. If the front of the tire is closer than the rear of the same tires, then the toe is called toe in or positive toe. So toe in also called as a positive toe. So this figure affects or represents this positive toe. If the front of the tire is farther apart than the rear of the same tire, then the wheels are toed out or have a negative toe. So toe out also called as a negative toe. So this figure indicates negative toe. The purpose of correct toe setting is to provide maximum stability with minimum of tire wear when the vehicle is being driven. Incorrect toe is a major cause of excessive tire wear as shown in this figure. If not correct, toe causes camber type wear on one side of the tire as shown in this figure, and This is toe is adjusted by lengthening or shortening the tie rod. Feather edge wear is also common, especially if the vehicle is equipped with non-radial tires. So this figure indicates such type of wear. So this is another example of this rear toe. In positive, the rear toe can be different for each wheel while the vehicle is moving forward, because the rear wheels are not tied together as they are in the front. So here you will see the tire wear at the rear wheel. Steering axis inclination, SAI, is the inward tilt of the steering axis. SAI is also known as kingpin inclination, KPI, and is the imaginary line drawn through the kingpin as viewed from the front. SAI is also called as a ball joint inclination if SLA type suspension is used or McPherson strut inclination is used. So this figure indicates steering axis inclination in case of this short or long arm suspension and a strut suspension. Included angle is the SAI added to the camber reading of the front wheel only. So here this is a combination of SAI and camber angle. So this is a combination, this gives the included angle. Turning radius. When a vehicle turns a corner, the inside wheel has to turn at a sharper angle than the outside wheel, because the inside wheel has a shorter distance to travel. Turning radius, a non-adjustable angle, is called toe out on turns, TOT or TOOT. It is determined by the angle of steering knuckle arms and should be measured to check if the steering arms are bent or damaged. After that, the proper angle of steering arm is where imaginary lines drawn from the steering arm should intersect exactly at the center of the rear axle. So this position is shown in this figure. This angle is called the Ackermann effect, named for its promoter, English publisher Rudolf Ackermann, 1898. Setback is the angle formed by a line drawn perpendicular to the front axle. You will see this angle, positive setback and negative setback. Watch this figure properly. Thrust angle, you will see at the center there is a thrust line. On vehicles with an independent rear suspension, if both the wheels do not have equal toe, the vehicle will pull in direction of the side with the most toe in. So these figures indicate zero thrust angle, thrust line to the right and thrust line to the left. Tracking, proper tracking, you will see the proper tracking. The rear wheels should track directly behind the front wheels. If the vehicle has been involved in an accident, it is possible that the frame or rear axle mounting could cause duck tracking. So what is wheel balancing? Next term, wheel balancing, also known as tire balancing, is the process of equalizing the weight of the combined tire and wheel assembly so that it spins smoothly at high speed. Balancing involves putting the wheel on tire assembly on the balancer, which centers the wheel and spins it to determine whether the weight should go. Balancing is defined as process of designing a machine in which unbalanced force is minimum. Balancing is the process of attempting to improve the mass distribution of a body so that it rotates in its bearing without unbalanced centrifugal force. So there should not be any unbalanced centrifugal force, and that's why we need the wheel balancing. When needed to wheel balance, vibration in steering wheel at certain highway speed, vibration in the seat or floor board at certain highway speed, scalloped or cupped wear pattern on the tires. These are some of the observations at that moment we need to wheel balance. There are two types of wheel balance: static balance and dynamic balance. The condition which exists in a body which has an absolutely even distribution of the weight mass around the axis of rotation, then this is called static balance. This occurs when there is no resultant centrifugal force and the center of gravity is on the axis of rotation. Second is dynamic balance, the condition which exists in a rotating body when the axis about which is forced to rotate or to which reference is made is parallel with a principal axis of inertia. No products of inertia about the center of gravity of the body exist in relation to the selected rotational axis. So these are two types of balancing, static and dynamic balancing. So this figure indicates static balancing, which is less desirable, it is also called single axis balancing. Dynamic balancing, which is most preferred, which is also called as a 3-axis balancing. So dynamic balance describes the forces generated by asymmetric mass distribution when the tire is rotated, usually at a high speed. In the tire factory, the tire is mounted on a balancing machine test wheel. The assembly is accelerated up to the speed of 300 rpm or higher, and sensors measure the forces of unbalance as the tire rotates. Dynamic balance is better than the static balance alone because both couple and static forces are measured and corrected in such type of balance. So wheel balance machine is used for this purpose. A balancing machine is a measuring tool used for balancing rotating machine parts such as wheel, rotors for electric motors, fans, turbines, disc brakes, disc drives, propellers and pumps. So not only for wheels in case of automobiles, but for such type of devices like electric motors, turbines also. The machine usually consists of two rigid pedestals with suspension and bearings on top supporting a mounting platform. So this picture indicates, or the picture is of wheel balancing machine. Let us see wheel balancing procedure. The tire is made free from all small stones, if any. The wheel is fixed to spindle of the wheel balancing machine by use of quick cone lock nut. Quick cone lock nut ensures fast mounting and fast removal of the tire. Wheel balancing machine is switched on. The spindle is made to rotate at a speed of 400 rpm. Then the rotation of the spindle is stopped. Wheel balancing machine determines the size of the weights and where to locate the weight on the wheel. The size of the weight and location of the weight to be placed is shown on the monitor of the wheel balancing machine. The weight is fixed to rim at exact location which is shown on the monitor. So and wheel is removed from the spindle of the wheel balancing by the cone lock nut. Now the wheel is balanced. So this is the location of the weight on the rim. What is the material of balancing masses? Previously lead is used as a material for manufacturing a weight because lead is toxic material, so zinc is used for preparing the weight. So these are some of the weights that usually used in balancing of the wheels. What are the benefits of wheel balancing? Wheel balancing will ensure smoother ride and more enjoyable driving. The tires and wheels to spin without causing any vibration. The better wear from the tire will save you your time and money. Vibration free, that is comfortable to drive in and easy to handling of the vehicle. Remove stresses and strains on the wheel bearings and suspension components. Steering components can be safe and prevent from failure of prematurely extreme cases to all the parts. Protect from premature wearing of the suspension and steering components, rotating parts and tires. Decrease the need of additional energy and reduce fuel consumption. Save from any dangerous and expensive. These are some of the references. You can refer it for your more information. Thank you very much.